Guess what? It's Monday.
Yes, Monday at 9 a.m. Thank you for joining us for The Big Picture. I'm Bryn, Caswell.
And I'm Collin, Dorsey. Great to have you with us.
Busy.
Busy
start to the week already.
It has been. But how was your weekend?
It was great. I was up in Cleveland visiting my in-laws. The weather was pleasant. I mean, on and off again, showers, but the sun would come out in between, so it was kind of nice.
Oh, yeah.
We just hung out and talked and grilled out, so it was a good weekend.
Yeah.
What'd you do?
Let's see. What did I do? Saturday, nothing, which was great.
Those are the best
Barely
Saturdays.
left the house. And then Sunday, one of my friends did a cookout. So we did that until it rained.
Okay.
And then it rained. But that was my excuse to go home and go to bed.
Getting our cookout on. I absolutely love it.
So it was a good weekend. But now we're back. So let's get right into our headlines to today. So the trial for Bruce Foster, his murder trial begins today. That is a bench trial. He is the man accused of going into the KDC-1 facility in New Albany and opening fire in February of last year.
And we're also following a Short North shooting that was deadly early Sunday morning. I live down by this area, and we speak to neighbors about their growing concern for gun violence in that area.
Right. And then also we've got the Columbus Department of Neighborhoods coming in to talk to us about the new community plan for the Southwest Census Tract 51 and the Franklinton neighborhoods of Columbus. And then our final one is something that you've been working on for a while.
Yes, America's Cutest Couple. This is a nationwide competition, and a couple in Dublin, Ohio, our very own Dublin, Ohio, is basically in the quarterfinals. It's a big deal. Well, they're coming on to talk to us about their love story and why it's so special and why they should win. So it'll be really, really sweet.
Okay, so let's get right into that shooting from over the weekend, because it is just the latest in a continual string of violence for this neighborhood that the city's tried to make it a fun and safe place to live, work, and play, but continually runs into this brick wall of crime that continues to happen.
And what happened was just kind of outside of Goodnight Johnny Boy, that area of the Short North.
It used to be Seesaw, then it turned into Goodnight John Boy.
Right. So the shooting happened around 3:10 on Sunday morning. This is really late.
It's after bar close.
After the bars have closed. And again, this was on the 1000th block of North High Street near Good Night Johnny Boy.
Right.
So that's also near North Star. Just I'm trying to paint the picture a little bit.
Yeah. I was like, I know like North Star's right there.
Yeah.
Kind of around, Good Night John Boy. I think local bars kind of right there.
Near Star Ave and stuff. So anyway, Columbus police were in the area already when they heard gunfire. And when officers got there, they found Gian Clement, 20 years old, with a gunshot wound, and they transported him to Grant Medical Center around 5:50 in the morning, and he later passed away.
And this was already kind of an interesting weekend because, I know people who were kind of down there the night before and said there were a number of fights going on in the street Friday night into Saturday morning. So this was already something that was primed for that. We talked with people down in that neighborhood living in that area, and he was just like, unfortunately, this has just become a regular occurrence. And we have the data to kind of back that up, that area has continually been a problem point for the Short North Art District. We had one person hurt in a shooting in May. There was a stabbing and shooting within days of each other in November. Then 10 people were hurt in that mass shooting June 2024, and that's just to name the handful that I was able to piece together in a short amount of time this morning. We also, just last month, talked to Mayor Ginther about crime in the Short North because we had a couple in the Short North get assaulted. A woman was robbed and beaten, her head slammed into the concrete curb. Her boyfriend was pepper sprayed and his jaw was broken in an assault. And we took this concern to Mayor Ginther, as we have time and time again, about violence in the Short North.
One violent crime is too many. And so we're going to be doubling down, doing our part, Operation Moonlight, Safe Streets, really trying to focus on prevention, intervention, and enforcement, and also continue to do a better job in investing more into lighting and cameras.
Right. And we know if you've been down in there, we've been telling you guys about it all summer, the city has made a great attempt to make sure the area is well lit. There's extra police officers keeping an eye on, large groups of people in the area. Right. And
But unfortunately, they can't be everywhere.
They can't be
and that's the
everywhere at
problem.
once,
Like, yeah.
especially after bars have closed. And this this happened around 3 a.m. But again, I live in that area, and when I heard that there was a shooting there Sunday morning, and that was deadly. Not that I've become immune to it, but just another one.
Yeah.
We keep hearing about them, and it's it's devastating. Someone lost their child, so. We'll keep following that. I'm sure we'll learn more information.
Right.
And we'll
Still
bring
looking
those
for a
updates.
suspect in this.
They're still looking for suspects.
Yeah.
So, alrighty. Switching gear, we
Let's
were
go to
talking
Newark.
about Newark. Yes. So
Yeah.
there's some serious staffing concerns happening there with the fire department.
Right. So this all goes to really the city of Newark and the Newark Fire Department trying to figure out how to curb overtime pay. In a way to do this, the city, or the fire department is basically cutting daily staffing by 1. So instead of having 17 on staff, they'll have 16 because we're looking at the amount of money.
Let's get into the dollars. So the overtime that this has, their overtime for these firefighters has cost the city is $590,000. And then according to the fire union, this could reach $940,000 by the end of the year. And this was according to the fire union president. So again, even though the numbers being cut down by 1, that is just still not giving, this is according to the fire union, giving the department the staffing that they need to respond to these emergencies.
Yeah, and go ahead.
No, a lot of people at a meeting that happened just a few days ago, I mean, they were like, where is our money going? What are we paying for? And rightfully so.
Why am I paying taxes for a fire department to get shut down or a fire engine that several times saved my husband?
We know right now 7 firefighters are out on injury leave. And so the city right now, we are told, has not given them permission to hire more people.
Right. That's what, the fire chief had told us that, the city hasn't let them do this because really the Newark Fire Department as stands is budgeted for 83. They have 78 currently on staff. Those 5 others haven't been posted, but then you add the 7 who are out and you kind of run into, okay, what do we do now?
Right.
But this isn't the first time.
No, this goes all the way back to 2022. And that year, due to overtime, Newark paid $700,000 again. So just large chunks of money going to this overtime.
2021, it was more than $500,000,
more than
$552,000.
Right. So, back then the department was short about 5 full-time firefighters. So,
Again.
they keep running into issues, obviously, and so we're going to keep following this story as well. I'm sure we'll learn more information
absolutely.
as it develops. Okay.
But
coming up next, we have Tyvis Powell joining us. Right. We're talking about sports. I mean, it was a big weekend for the Cleveland Brownies. We heard from Deshaun, and he said some things that really upset Cleveland fans. Let's just put it that way. And then we're talking about OSU football captains. This is such a big deal. Tyvis brings his perspective to that special moment for those players. We'll be right back in 2 minutes.
I'm Yolanda Harris. I'm a journalist at 10 TV News. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to verify, to volunteer. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
Welcome back to The Big Picture. It's 9:10 on your Monday morning. Joining us, we have 97.1 The Fans, Tyvis Powell.
Hello.
Hi, Tyvis. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. What? Why you sitting back like that? You was kind of like,
I don't know. I feel like I
you
always sit
all right?
like
Listen, we've been busy this morning.
Listen, hold
We've
on.
been
First
busy.
of all,
I feel like I always
He
sit
was
like
in the
that.
listen,
field.
Monday is the start of the week. If it starts good, it usually ends good. So you got to go out with a bang today.
Well,
Yeah.
we are
You
in
was
a
on the
great
road,
mood.
and you was on the road
Yeah,
today.
I
I
was
walked
suiting
in
the
there,
boot.
did my hit, and I was like, "Where you at?"
Yeah, nope. I was out in New Albany.
Yeah, covering a trial that starts literally right now.
Yeah.
But let's talk about sports. That's why you're
Sports.
here.
Yes.
So the Buckeyes, they just announced their captains.
Yes,
this is
they
a really
did.
big deal. Why?
Well, it's a big deal because being a captain at Ohio State, that's a huge honor. You know, even for me, you know, back when I was a kid, I always wanted to go to Ohio State, and then I wanted to be the captain because that's the leader. It shows what you've done this offseason. People look to you for good, bad, or indifferent. And to have that honor where you're like a spokesperson for the Ohio State University, it's a huge honor. They have 7 of them. I think back when I played, we had the most, and I think we had 7 or 8 as well. So we was right in line with that. It's a lot of responsibility that comes with it. You know, everybody thinks it's just glamorous to be that, but when things aren't going well and you got to have some tough conversations with some guys, it's not always fun, especially guys that you consider your brother. So obviously when you look at the Buckeye schedule this year, it's going to be some times where they're going to face adversity and they're going to turn to those captains, and those guys, it's up to them to make sure that guys are locked in, guys are focused, and guys are playing to the best of their ability.
Yeah, and I mean, it is, you mentioned it, it can be a tough spot. You are really the mid-level management position of sports because you're catching it from both sides. If your coach is like, you're not doing a good enough job, or why are these guys not in shape, you're catching it from him. And then if your guys are mad at you, you're catching it from them too. So.
I remember an incident in practice where one of the guys, we were taught to run on and off the field. So the twos was in, so I was off the field, and I was having a conversation with another player. And when the twos came jogging off the field, one guy stopped short and walked off the field. And they didn't yell at him. They yelled at me for not yelling at
Controlling
him.
your guy.
And I'm like, I didn't even know. I wasn't even paying attention. So it's a lot that come with it.
Right. Is there one of the players that just got, awarded being a captain that you're really looking forward to seeing step up in that leadership position this year?
I think Brandon would probably be the guy. Not only is he awarded the captain, he got the Block O this season, which is a huge honor to have that jersey. It means that you are been dedicated. You had a great offseason, and you demonstrate what being a Buckeye is. Brandon Ennis hasn't had the career that everybody anticipated that he would have, and a lot of it is he's being shadowed by Jeremiah Smith. You had Cardinal Tate, Emeka Ibuka before that, so he's really not had that opportunity, but now he's going to be looked at as one of those other receivers that has to make an impact. And given the fact that you're a captain, given the fact that you're wearing a Block O, a lot of people expect a lot out of you, and apparently they expect a lot out of you this season. So he's a guy that I'm intrigued with this season. I hope he has a breakout year.
Okay. And speaking of leadership, we're going to talk about Deshaun Watson. Yes, for the Cleveland Brownies. So they played the Buffalo Bills yesterday. Yesterday.
No, it was Saturday. Yeah,
Yep, I'm trying to remember. They had a bunch. I was watching it. They had a bunch of rain delays in Cleveland. It was kind of
I was
a mess
there.
up there.
Trust me, I know all about it.
Too. Okay.
I had to jump on the radio to stall.
Okay, well let's talk about the post-game press conference that a lot of Cleveland fans are kind of upset with, especially with what Deshaun Watson said. I mean, I'm going to paraphrase this, but he said, I think the whole world knows it has nothing to do about performance. It's a little bit more personal than that. Mm-hmm. So I think it's a disrespectful thing. And then he, went on to talk about, quote, the last time I played on this field, I tore my Achilles. And that same fan base, they cheered when I got hurt. Mm-hmm. And he went on to talk about how he's put in the work. He's been in the community. Mm-hmm. He's been doing community service. And he feels like he's not getting the reaction from the fan base that he deserves.
Yeah.
Thoughts on all of this?
I think that I understand both sides. I understand his side and I understand the fan base's side. From a fan base standpoint, this is a guy that when they acquired him, a lot of people were on the fence with it because of the off-the-field allegations and things like that. So that's already a strike against you right there, right? Then he had to serve his suspension. He came out in his first season after being suspended for 11 games. He was 3-3. He played 6 games. He finished with a record of 3-3. Okay, everybody's like, all right, you didn't play, so it's kind of fair to see you trying to get your feet back up under you and things like that. The next season, he came out, he was 5-1. I'd argue after he won that Baltimore Raven game, his 6th game, when they came back in the second half and they won that game, the fan base was all on board. They all was, Deshaun's the guy. He was getting applause. Everybody kind of liked him at that point. Soon as that happened, boom, he gets hurt. He's out for the rest of the season. And the problem is Joe Flacco came in and took that team to the playoffs. And everybody loved Joe Flacco and everything was great. Okay. Mm-hmm. Then after that, after having so much success with Joe Flacco, they didn't bring him back. And the reason that they didn't bring him back was because they didn't want to have that interfere with Deshaun Watson. You know, Deshaun Watson is the guy. We're going to pay Deshaun Watson. We don't want, if things go bad, you don't want the locker room to be divided. You know, oh, well, why are they playing Deshaun? If he looks this bad, we got Joe Flacco sitting right there with all his success. So they went with the route of, we're not even going to bring Joe Flacco back. A lot of the fan base was upset by that. Deshaun comes back, and it doesn't go well. It does not go well at all. I think he went 1-6 in those games. So he finished right now with the career record of 9-10 for the Browns, and the fan base is looking at it as, you've cost us Joe Flacco. You've made our cap situation not attainable. We lost a prime Nick Chubb. Kevin Stefanski got fired. The offense is not great. You've had so many different OCs come in and change the offense, and it still hasn't worked for you. So I think the fans are looking at it as, well, you say it's not performance-based, but when you've been in there the last time we've seen you, it wasn't all great. So that's why I think it's warranted boos. From his standpoint, he's been so removed from the situation that happened of the allegations, and he's done everything. He's been in charity. He's given back to the community. He's been a great teammate. He's been quiet as fans have said things about him. He has not gone back and attacked anybody or anything. I think for him, this outburst was just a lot of stuff building up. It's just been building up for so many years, and he hasn't been able to speak on it because they told him probably not to speak on it, that it just became overwhelming, and he just let it all out at one point in time. The timing of it was not great at all, and he should have not done that, knowing that there's a big decision that's coming around noon today. So we'll see what the Browns do. A lot of the fan base is kind of like, you can't do that. You can't name him the starter. But I secretly think they still might name him the starter because the first 2 games are on the road.
Do you think Shador has a chance to really,
if it was up to me, Shador would have been the starter a long time ago, and we wouldn't even be in this mess. But that's just me.
All right, hot take Monday.
All right, Tyvis, thanks. We'll talk to you come Wednesday.
See y'all later.
All right, coming up next, we are joined by the Columbus Department of Neighborhoods. We are talking about the development of a new community plan for the Southwest Side and Franklinton. That's in 2 minutes.
I'm Jeff Hogan. I've been a journalist at 10 TV for more than 20 years. I don't just report about our community, I belong to it. And that's why we care so deeply about getting it right. And when local journalism is done right, it moves. It moves you to act, to speak up, or lend a hand. And yes, it moves your heart through the kind of human storytelling that stays with you wherever you are. And at 10 TV, we're here for all of it. These are the stories that move Central Ohio.
All right, welcome back to The Big Picture here on your Monday. We are talking about pretty much making a lot of Columbus's neighborhoods better, bringing them up. We're talking the development of community plan. And right now we are joined by Kim Douglas from the Department of Neighborhoods, and also, Patrice Allen Brady, Neighborhoods Administrator. Thank you both for coming in today. First off, before we get into this development for the Southwest Side in Franklinton, for folks who haven't followed this whole community plan mission around these, talk to us, what is really the goal of creating these community plans?
Thanks for having us this morning, and what a great question. So the vision is to empower our community to make the area surrounding them the best that they want to make it. This is about having community voice as a part of what it is that happens in your community. The Department of Neighborhoods has done 3 previous plans. We have been in the Hilltop with Envision Hilltop. We've been in Eastland with Eastland for Everyone, and we have been in Linden, which is divided by North and South, but they got together and made a plan called the One Linden Plan. And it is about allowing the neighborhoods, the communities, the neighbors to have a voice in what their community looks like and the services that come into that role.
And why did the city of Columbus select the Southwest Side to be the 4th neighborhood receiving this community feedback?
So Mayor Ginther was very intentional after hearing a specific statistic. Census Tract 51, where this plan is built upon, has the lowest life expectancy in Central Ohio at the age of 60.
Wow.
And after hearing that, the mayor knew something needed to be done in order to stop that clock and hopefully reverse a bit of what's gone on up until this point.
And I know, in some of the other neighborhoods, for example, Eastland, we've seen a lot of progress and development there. We've seen the conversion of the Kroger that was once closed. It turned into a that
Prosperity.
yes, because Mid Ohio Food Bank moved in and helped turn that into really a great neighborhood center with healthcare. We've seen a lot of progress come out of this. When it comes to the residents of the Southwest Side and the residents of Franklinton, how will they be involved in creating what they want to see in their neighborhood?
So this will be a robust community engagement strategy. And so there will be pop-ups and meeting people where they are, at the grocery store, at the laundromat. In addition to that, we'll host big events that will allow for folks to plug in and share their opinions and thoughts on what they dream of and hope for their community. So it's going to be a multi-layered approach. And so my hope is, and our hope is that everyone chooses to show up, share their voice, and so that we're able to capture that, and then that will be shared with residents and community stakeholders so they can plug in and hopefully maybe have a prosperity center happen, right?
Right. And what lessons from previous plans do you plan to put in motion for this neighborhood?
So I think the biggest lesson that we have all learned is that community voice matters, right? And so those lessons run deep. And so thinking about meeting with folks one-on-one, maybe they don't like meeting with a group setting, right? Creating visuals that people can engage with. These are the key tools that are important to capturing the community voice. Not everyone knows the dream, right? And sometimes they need to see it, right? And so in past meetings, we've had pictures and like what other communities are doing across the country, able to get thoughts on, would you like this for your community? And if not, tell me how you would want it to be different.
And looking at this one, mainly focusing on really that Franklinton neighborhood, that is a neighborhood in Columbus that has seen so much change in the past 10 years, and obviously dealing with an affordability issue right now. We've seen a lot of development over there, and it's raised housing prices. Of the neighborhoods, this one's of the four, this one has really seen probably the largest change in affordability for residents who have lived there their entire lives. Do you expect that to be really a key factor in what folks come to the table with?
Absolutely. The lived experience of everyone who lives in the neighborhood is what matters. And so if that is what they're experiencing, we want to capture their voice at the table and make that a part of the final document once we get to the action plans and implementation part.
And can I say, I think that's what makes this the right plan, the right time for the plan. There has been so much change. There is a shift in the demographic. There is a shift in what the needs and desires may be. But there's also that resonating of what makes Franklinton and the Southwest that we want to hold on to. And so I think this is the opportunity for both to have the conversation together and then look to the future for what it looks like for both to exist and be successful and thrive in that area.
Right, because Franklinton has such a deep history. I mean, there's so
Very
much.
deep.
And you go down there, and it is a very unique neighborhood of Columbus with the art, but then also the history and the families who are multi-generational who have lived there.
That are proud to be
Yes.
there as well. And so we want to hold on to that. And we also want to invite economic development. We also want to invite drivers that will bring people to that area so that everyone appreciates the uniqueness that we know happens in Franklinton, but maybe bringing others will give us that other income levels, the what am I trying to say? The income.
Mixed income community.
Yes.
Right.
That will bring what we want to see in that community.
I guess, I mean, you haven't heard from the community yet, obviously. But what do you hope Franklinton looks like in the next 5 years?
I hope it is diverse, right? One of the things that a lot of people dream about is being able to stay where you've grown up forever, but then also invite those who may be new to the community to be a part of the fabric that already exists. And so there's a real opportunity there for that because of Franklinton's rich history. And so that mixed income component can lend itself to that kind of environment where hopefully the community can continue to thrive, where everyone benefits from living there.
And when it comes to submitting these ideas, these requests for proposals, who qualifies? Are we looking at firms? What kind of individuals are really able to submit this idea?
Yeah, so typically we're looking at planning firms, been typical of the ones that have submitted. We have had some community engagement firms be the primary submissions, with the planning firms the secondary. And so we're open to both of those options, right? The goal is to find the right consultant to do the work and to engage the community in an authentic way. so that we are able to take that document as the roadmap, not just us, the city, but us as community stakeholders, us as residents, to advocate for the things that come out during that process.
And what's the deadline for submitting proposals?
September 14th.
Okay,
at 5
mark your
p.m.
calendars.
Yes.
And that is easy to be
Disposable
done.
income. That was what I was looking
Okay.
for. We don't want to replace. I knew it was going to come. We want to bring more to the community. Okay, I made it up.
I'm
Thanks.
glad you thought of that now, because
Yeah.
for me it always happens in the middle of the night.
Thank you two for coming in. Is there anything else you want to say about this project and really just the importance of it?
I think you hit. It is so important for the community voice to be heard. We're looking for the right consultant to engage at all levels. The community will look like what this community wants it to look like. We're happy to be there to guide that.
Okay, thank you.
Kim, Patrice, thanks so much
Thank
for
you.
coming
Thank you.
in.
Alrighty, well, we're going to Licking County next, where the trial for Bruce Foster, the man accused of the deadly mass shooting in New Albany, will be in trial. So we'll bring that live from the courtroom coming up in the next 2 minutes.
The 10 TV Plus TV app, streaming 24/7. Local news from the team you trust. Track how the weather will impact your day. Breaking news, live from the scene. All the news you need. 10 TV Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.
Welcome back to The Big Picture, 9:30 on your Monday morning. And this is a big day because it's been over a year and a half, 565 days to be exact, since the shooting at KDC 1 warehouse in New Albany happened. That led to the killing of 2 people and 4 others were injured. And the man accused of this is in court right now. His trial is beginning.
Right. We are talking about the trial of Bruce Foster. He was an employee at this KDC-1 facility. If you don't know what KDC-1 is, they are a company that designs and makes packaging and different materials for beauty and personal care products. Like they make stuff for like perfume bottles. This shooting, it was February 2025. That first call came in probably around 11. I was the first crew on scene there with our photographer, Travis, that night. We got there about 11:25. And by that point, you already had every law enforcement officer in the county and of both counties, Franklin and Licking. It was an enormous response.
Right, because they believed there was an active shooter still in the building at
and
the
they
time.
finally confirmed it to us by like 11:30, 11:35 that this was in fact an active shooter situation. Because we went out there on the call of like, this might be happening. But then it was finally confirmed, really just after that.
I remember watching your coverage of that too. And I mean, you were going up to people were driving in their cars to kind of see what was going on. You were going up to them, talking to them.
Right.
I mean, people were concerned because nothing like this has happened.
No,
in
this
New
was the
Albany before.
first homicide in New Albany's history, and this facility really sits like almost halfway between New Albany and Johnstown. It's really kind of removed out there. It's really by the new Intel plant. It is like a quarter mile away from that, but he's still standing accused of killing his 2 coworkers, injuring 4 others. We know Kyle Vaver and Shakar Shapagai were killed, and the thing about Shapagai's death is his wife was pregnant at the time. She was due within a week or so of his death, and really he was also the sole provider of his family.
Right, and these families are still reeling. I mean, there's another lawsuit pending that trial will happen next August of 2027, where the families of the 2 deceased people as well as 2 others that were injured, they want to seek justice for their loved ones that were impacted by this. Just it goes beyond the criminal case, is what I'm saying. So back to the location of KDC-1.
Yep.
So according to prosecutors, they say that Bruce Foster was able to get out of that area by getting a ride share.
Yeah.
And then he went back to his apartment in the Short North, and this is located right across from the Kroger in the Short North area. There's a Spectrum internet building there as well. I was there at the apartment building because the U.S. Marshals, they were actively going in this apartment building, going door to door, trying to find him because they believed he was there. They ended up finding him. But I mean, when I was there speaking to some of these people that live in this apartment, a lot of it was college students, and they were just absolutely shocked that the situation that happened, so late into the night and into the early morning in New Albany managed to come all the way down to like the city of Columbus.
Right. Because the night I was there, no one was allowed to leave. It was all
Right.
locked down. They were checking every vehicle that was leaving and coming to this facility. People were, because there were a number of people who were trying to walk to the bus stop there, and they were told, turn around, go back. It was really a complicated thing. And now we've learned, this has been hearing after hearing after hearing for a long time. We never knew if this man was even going to face a judge.
Right, because his competency was being questioned. And
yeah.
we know a lot of this dates back to 2022 as well, that his family had reported just some concerns with his mental health. And basically, he had to go through mental health treatment in order to even get to this point today.
Yes.
And so our Amy Steigerwald takes a look at kind of how we got to this point right now.
The March 2025 competency hearing, which led to Foster's hospitalization, lasted only 90 seconds. In that time, Foster's attorney argued he needed help with his mental health before he was well enough to face charges. We spoke with him last year.
The competency report is the medical part of this that says at this point, hospitalization is needed before we can have a meaningful procedure in the court. So at this point, it's still in a medical venue instead of in a criminal one.
Since then, Foster has been going through treatment in order for today's trial to proceed. Earlier this year, Foster's lawyers and the state asked for another mental health evaluation after he was deemed competent to stand trial. A few months ago, we spoke to a law professor about these terms who says this is a high bar to clear.
Defendant has to show that they were incapable of appreciating that their conduct was even legally wrong, not just morally wrong.
So there were a lot of questions, too, because we know that even before then, because we started looking into Foster's history, that he had a history of mental health conditions.
Right. And the big question, too, was how is someone with this kind of history able to legally purchase a gun?
Right. So within the day after this shooting, Columbus police gave us a bunch of records, and in them were 2 reports that Foster's family had made about him twice in 2022 for So they called in April 2022 to say he was having delusions and paranoia and made statements about hurting other people, but only in self-defense. And then a month later, they filed another report basically saying he's not acting like himself. Both times, he was pink slipped. Now, if you are pink slipped, that basically means you are being taken to a facility against your will. You are being admitted for some sort of mental health treatment.
Yeah, but he was still able to legally buy that gun.
Right.
And he bought a Glock 26 in September of 2024. And it was approved through the ATF, where you fill out a form and you have to go through a series of questions when you get ready to purchase that weapon.
And that form asks you about, have you ever been, diagnosed? Have you ever been, committed to a facility? And he still passed.
Right.
But we talked to
the gun shop owner.
One of the a gun shop owner about wait, how does this get through? And he kind of says it really comes down to you have it's a really fine line between your Second Amendment rights, due process, all of this.
One thing to keep in mind, you're dealing with somebody's constitutional rights. In order to impede upon those rights or take away those rights, we have to have due process.
So
again, just kind of slip through the cracks there. Obviously, no one knew what was going to transpire in the weeks and months following that purchase of that weapon. But again, Bruce Foster, his trial has started today about 37 minutes ago, or did they start around 9:30?
They started right at 9.
9, okay.
So
we know they've been playing police body camera video. It's estimated that this trial will last about 2 weeks.
2 weeks, yeah.
So we will be there gavel to gavel following this. Lacey Crisp is there right now
we're
as
expecting
well.
60 witnesses.
60 witnesses, and that's going to take some time to go through and talk to all of them.
And, just watching this, because I have to be very careful about what we throw up
showing,
here. Because some of this has been very graphic.
Oh, yeah.
Because obviously we're talking about a mass shooting incident.
A mass shooting, and there is raw police body camera video for when they first responded to KDC-1.
Now, this is a bench trial. This is different than a jury trial, so the judge will determine the guilt and eventually his sentence. So right now they're taking a look at kind of the layout, how all of this happened.
Okay, they're looking at the building. Okay. Because, prosecutors have argued that no security searched his backpack for a weapon when he re-entered the building.
Area B.
We could take a listen in.
Yeah, we'll take a listen in for a moment.
Deputy Babcock's body camera.
Yes, so Area E is just west of Area A.
Where the arrow is pointed in that picture, that's where the office is. So Area B consisted of the office as well as just outside of the office where we located evidence.
Okay. And so Area B would be the quality assurance office?
Correct.
And Area D is where Shakur's body was dragged to by Deputy Babcock?
Yes, based on the blood that we saw, I would assume medical intervention had occurred in this area.
Okay. And Area C, can you describe what Area C is?
Yes, so when we had reviewed some video surveillance, we were originally advised that the suspect had left in an Uber vehicle. So we wanted to see where he exited to help us identify any potential evidence. Per the video, Area C is the exit of the suspect. So all of the arrows you see, he went down aisles between 4 and 5, continued south out of the building, and then turned left, so turned east, and then exited.
So what they're doing right now is really just trying to set the scene for the court of really what went down that day.
Oh, yeah,
it
let's talk about
is.
it. Yeah,
so,
we don't know what they're going to be showing on that
right,
screen there. We just want to be careful.
Yeah. Trying to set the scene of what all went down, because obviously the one that they were talking about, that was one of them that was hurt and survived. We know, at least from what we learned earlier, this was a moment that Foster, who is the one standing accused of this, came up behind basically the security guard and shot him.
Right.
He lived, one of them. Now, this is, as we mentioned, probably 2 weeks of time. We're going to be in there gavel to gavel.
Oh, yes.
Lacey Crisp will probably have an update for us coming up at noon because they'll go for a lunch recess. We'll have obviously more coming up at 4, 5, and 6 as well.
Okay. All right. Well, coming up next, we are talking to a couple from Dublin who's in the running to be America's cutest couple. I'm so excited about this story because I love love. Love is the greatest of all things. We'll be back in 2 minutes. You get to meet them.
I'm Tracy Townsend, anchor at 10 TV News This Morning. My goal is simple: help you feel informed and connected. Because when news moves fast, you need a team that moves with you. Make the move to 10 TV News This Morning, weekdays from 5 to 9, anywhere you watch.
Welcome back to The Big Picture. It's 9:43 on your Monday morning. And I said this earlier, America's cutest couple. We have Anne Marie and Todd DeWitt of Dublin joining us right now. You two are in the competition for America's favorite couple.
Favorite couple.
You guys
yes.
are cute. We'll give you guys that one. First of all, tell us how you guys met.
So it was during the Memorial Tournament, and we were at the Bogey, and I went up to the bar to get a drink, and I heard somebody say, "Well, I've got that." And when I was looking up to say, "No, thank you," I made eye contact with him. I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And immediately, butterflies that are still here today. And I don't know if Todd's happy that he bought that drink for me.
I hope he is.
Of course.
So how long have you guys been together?
It's been 10 years.
Yeah.
We got married 5 years ago, blended our families, and we're like the Brady Bunch -1.
Yeah, that's amazing. So how did you two end up in this competition with Variety?
So we were driving to Tennessee, and as we were driving, I was checking email, and I got an email like, "How would you like to be America's favorite couple?" And people always say, "Oh, you guys are the cutest couple ever." Like, I don't know. People just see our love, I guess. But so we were driving, had the time to fill out the form, and we just talked through how we wanted to word everything. And what was funny when we were driving back was when we found out that we were actually selected to be in the competition.
Yeah, and we didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into.
Yeah.
So it was kind of fun to go through this experience.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And you two are in the quarterfinals now.
We are in the quarterfinals.
Okay, how long has this been going on?
So it started in July. So it's been going on for almost 2 months, and our friends and family have been amazing. We absolutely love them and appreciate all the support. But we are not going to make it to the semifinals, which are decided this Thursday.
Ooh.
So
without everybody's support,
Yeah,
we need
we
everybody's
really
help.
need
We're in
everybody.
third place right now.
So that's why we're coming here to ask the community to give us their vote every day. I know it's a pain. I know we're asking for a lot, but we would truly love to represent the Columbus area and be America's favorite couple.
And what do you guys win?
So, of course, there's a little cash prize of $20,000. And then there's also, they fly you out to LA. You go on a triple date with Jeff Goldblum and his wife. Then it is also Ted Danson and his wife, and then Chris Day and his wife.
Yeah.
I love Ted Danson.
Yeah,
I know,
that's worth it. I don't care about the $20,000, but I want to go on. I want to go meet these folks and have dinner with them.
And then we also would be featured in Variety magazine.
Oh
and
my
then we
gosh.
would also represent for next year's 2027 America's Favorite Couple.
And really, if we end up winning, that $20,000 is going to go towards spending a vacation with the family, and bring everybody, and go somewhere overseas and just have fun.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, so how can people go vote?
So you can go online. Do you have the link to post it?
We do.
Okay, so
We'll
it's
put it
just
on our
going
website.
online to America's Favorite Couple. I think it's Fave Couple,
Mhm.
2026.
Yeah.
Annie and Todd.
Okay.
But yes, if you could vote every day, we would really appreciate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need everybody's help.
What do you think's kept your relationship so strong over these last 10 years?
You know what? We're just real. I think we complete each other a lot. I know for me personally, he has made me want to be a better person. And I don't know, we're just good. There's
Yeah,
a good
I think the
communication.
same. She's got traits that I want to emulate, and one of the things that we do, we like to be with our friends and our family, and travel and eat and drink wine together. And
Yeah. Got to have some wine in there. Okay, I'm going to ask you guys a speed round of questions.
Okay, here we go.
Who said I love you first?
Oh, it was me.
You?
Yeah.
Okay. Who's the more romantic one?
Probably him.
I like to plan things,
Okay, what do you like to plan?
dinners, trips, things like that.
Yeah, awesome.
He does a pretty good job, too.
Who's more competitive?
Oh, she is, although she doesn't admit that.
Now, I will tell you, the first time I was with his family and playing cards, I wanted to walk away because they were so ultra competitive. And I was like, what? This is for fun.
Yeah. Okay, so this is your last chance. Why do you think you should win this competition?
I think the real reason is that we want to help support this region, right? And nobody from Ohio ends up winning something in California, right? And so we want to be able to represent, but we want to be able to show people what we can accomplish and what love can do.
And also, I mean, we're just everyday people. There's, we're just out there working every day, raising this family that's blended together and, doing the things.
Yeah.
We're not that special, but we would sure appreciate your votes.
Yeah. You guys are so cute. You got my vote.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you can obviously go online and vote at americasfavoritecouple.org.
Awesome. Thank you two for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
Good luck. I hope you
appreciate that.
make it on Thursday.
I do too.
Woohoo. Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right, we're going to take a quick break and we'll be back in 2 minutes.
I'm Bryn Albizu, traffic anchor for 10 TV News this morning. My mission is simple, to help you get to where you're going quickly and safely. Because when your morning's on the move, so are we. Make the move to 10 TV News this morning, anywhere you watch.
All right. Hey, Justin.
Hey.
Hello.
Oh, goodness. Hey, it's a nice Monday.
Yeah, I don't
Finally.
hate. I don't hate this weather.
Yay.
And I'm guessing nobody else does either.
Yeah, we
about
got
time.
kind of lucky again.
Sunshine.
Yesterday
bright.
we had just a little bit of a shower, but it wasn't anything crazy.
No, and the sun came out again.
Yeah.
It was really nice. I was taking walks around. I was enjoying it.
Nope, our daughter was riding her bike around our neighborhood repeatedly yesterday morning, enjoying the fresh air. So, yeah, there were those little nuisance showers later in the day on Sunday. But storm rolled through Grove City and a few other spots Saturday afternoon. But for the most part, a lot of us got through it okay, other than a couple of issues on Saturday with a few storms. But, yeah, now we're in a stretch that we haven't seen in a while, dry weather. Last time we had a stretch of dry days was the 2nd through 6th of the month, which is just ridiculous. It's been like 3 weeks since we've had a few days in a row of dry weather. Just absolutely remarkable. But yeah, a little preview of fall today. Our normal high on September, we did this earlier. So today is August 24th. The normal high on September 24th is 75, and that's what we're forecasting today. So it's kind of like an early fall sort of feel
I
today.
opened the windows.
I need
Oh,
to do
yeah.
that.
Because I was like, house needs aired out. Give the air conditioner a break. Because I opened them before I left this morning, and it was actually chilly.
Yeah, no,
And
I
was like,
loved
"Oh."
I loved the little bite in the air. Made
Yeah.
me think of fall and
The
getting
cat
out my
loves it.
Halloween decorations. No, but walking around yesterday, I decided 72, which it was at that point around maybe 4 p.m. That's my favorite temperature in the world.
Yeah,
it was perfect.
The 70s, the lack of mugginess, little breeze, some passing clouds. Gotta love it.
Okay. And again, this week we're in pretty good shape.
Yeah,
maybe just a couple showers.
Yeah, next chance of a spotty shower or storm is until Thursday. So until then, enjoy it.
Okay.
Oh, I'm so ready.
Yes. Thank you so much, Justin. We
You bet.
appreciate it. Okay. There's another big court appearance happening today, and this one's in Delaware County, and this is for Brianna Dutcher. She's 18 years old, and her boyfriend, 20-year-old Christian Evans, and his roommate, 21-year-old DeJamius Payne, they were indicted on 1 count each of aggravated murder for killing her mother, 55-year-old Tamala Dutcher. And on August 14th, let's go back to the beginning. Deputies responded to a report of shots fired at the 1600 block of Benoila Road just before midnight. And again, this is in Delaware County. And the sheriff's office said the 911 caller reported that his wife had been shot. Now, first responders, they found Tamala with an apparent gunshot wound. And the sheriff's office said she was taken to hospital where she later died. And as we've been uncovering this, according to complaints from Evans and Payne, investigators allege that the two entered Dutcher's home and shot her. And then the husband was trying to provide medical aid, according to court documents. But as we've been covering this case, because obviously it's, complex. It's a daughter is accused of, murdering her mother. We've received text messages that basically, according to prosecutors, outline the events of the killing that transpired. We're going to play a package from Kevin Landers where he really dives into these texts.
The family of Tamala Dutcher sat in disbelief inside a Delaware County courtroom as they watched Brianna Dutcher stand accused of the murder of her mother, Tamala.
You understand that, ma'am? Yes.
I had interviewed her mother, Tamala, 2 years ago on an unrelated story about annoying robocalls. Court documents reveal the crime inside their Benoila Road home may have been the result of a relationship Brianna had with Christian Evans, who was also charged with murder in the case. Brianna told detectives her parents didn't know about her boyfriend because they were, quote, very racist and would likely have kicked her out of the house. The family declined to talk after today's hearing. Prosecutors say after her arrest, they found text messages between Brianna and Evans talking about the crime.
There have now been text messages that have been recovered from her phone that appear to be planning the crime in advance. I would note for the court that the messages were deleted from her phone, but they were recovered by law enforcement during a forensic download.
Dutcher is also facing a charge of obstructing justice. Detectives say she lied about not knowing about who was behind the crime. 10 TV also learned that Tamala Dutcher was not the only target. Court records say Christian Evans tried to kill Tamala Dutcher's husband as he gave medical aid to his spouse. All 3 defendants were given a $3 million bond. If convicted, they could each face a maximum of life in prison.
Ooh, so we're talking about some serious charges with serious consequences. And so the deleted text messages appear to between Brianna and then Christian Evans, who is reportedly her boyfriend. And according to prosecutors, again, this basically outlines the murder. I'm going to read some of them. So Christian and Brianna, quote, they need to be hidden. Christian and Brianna, again, once they both pass away, just in case. And then Brianna responded, she's in the living room. He's in the basement. Where you're here, let me know. I'm reading these verbatim for the text messages because, so there's some grammar and things in there. But then Christian says to her, we're getting ready. She says, KK. And then Christian says to Brianna, getting gloves. So these go on. It continues to go on as well. These texts say, take them both at the same time. Brianna says, I got it. Then Christian to Brianna says, this has to be perfect. And then Brianna to Christian says, I'll just take them down. Yeah. Whoa. Really chilling.
That's really, yeah. This is such a strange case.
I know. And the fact that, we had Kevin on last week talking about it, but the fact that he had interviewed and met Tamala?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chilling.
Right. Because he mentioned it was just like, I got that eerie feeling of like I've been here, and he realized it was.
Yes.
And it's such a bizarre case.
Yeah, she'll be in court this afternoon for her arraignment. Maybe we'll learn some new details, but we will of course keep you updated on air and online. and of course on our 10 TV app. So that does it for us today on this Monday morning. Let's make it a great week, and we'll see you all tomorrow at 9 a.m. Thanks for joining us for The Big Picture.
See ya.